Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And we've just had a great live stream with Chris talking about his life in South Africa, and it went for well over 2 hours. We had up to about 400 people watching. Very, very interesting insight into South Africa, and it's here on the main Loving Life channel, just probably the video before this one or the video after this one. Now, just a few days ago, I said, look, it's tickets for South African Airways when the government turned down their need for 10 billion rand to try and keep the organization afloat. Well, now it's official. South African Airways is gone. My source is Bloomberg. Bloomberg is reporting that South African Airways is currently working on creating severance packages for employees who will be laid off starting at the end of April. This comes after the turnaround plan for the airline has failed. Employees will be getting 1 month of pay plus 1 week of pay for every year of service. In other words, an employee who has been at the airline for 30 years would get about 8 months' worth of pay. That's it, after 30 years. The ability of the airline to pay this is dependent upon successful sale of assets. The administrators behind South African Airways Business Rescue are now tasked with selling assets, including planes, valuable landing slots, especially at Heathrow Airport, etc. In many ways, the current situation at South African Airways was inevitable. The airline has been losing money since 2011, and the government has provided just enough funding to keep the airline operating, but not enough funding or direction for anything to materially change. Obviously, COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the problem at the airline. South African Airways had an inefficient fleet, route network and workforce. Seeing the airline liquidate is sad for a variety of reasons. Thousands of people will be losing their jobs. While not the world's greatest airline, which it used to be pre-1994, I might add, there's something nice about having a national long-haul airline. South Africa is one of the biggest markets in South Africa, so you'd think there would be merit in having a major international airline based there. I'll be curious to see what the future of aviation in South Africa looks like. I think the biggest thing South Africa needs as a market is domestic and regional connectivity, since that was not covered well by that many airlines. However, there are already some competitors, like Comair. Personally, I feel that South Africa might not actually get a new long-haul airline, because the country is pretty well covered in that regard. The Gulf carriers all fly to South Africa, offering connectivity to all parts of the globe. Most major European airlines fly to South Africa, also offering good connectivity. Ethiopian Airlines is a powerhouse in Africa, so we could see them increasing connectivity to South Africa, so you can get to most points in the world in one stop. Even prior to this pandemic, there was talk about how South African Airways should become a regional airline and possibly create some sort of joint venture with a Gulf carrier so that they could funnel their traffic through a major global hub. The reality is that most of South African Airways' long-haul routes were also served by other airlines, in most cases at better prices, with a better product, and with more schedule flexibility. The bottom line is, it sounds like South African Airways is headed for liquidation, with employees being laid off in the coming days. Short of the government changing their mind and once again funding South African Airways, it seems like this is the end of the road. I feel bad for all the employees at South African Airways, since I know a lot of people have worked at the airline for decades. It's absolutely awful for them to be losing their jobs. Other than that, though, well, this is the fruits of the incompetent ANC government. I've said for months now, South African Airways is the canary in the cage. And the canary has just rolled over and died. This is the fruits of the ANC government. They are completely clueless, hopeless. They employ their own cadres who've got no experience into positions managing operations like South African Airways, and all they do is loot and pillage through schemes like shelf companies, which are BEE, run by a family friend or someone who's in the family or something like that, and they put huge markups on, which kills the profitability of the airline. It's called corruption. It's called corruption, and yet no one ever gets charged. There lies the rub. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.